Hi again, everybody. I'm Bill Phillips, and welcome to Bucco Triple Play for the first weekend of May, which means it's Kentucky Derby time, and we will have our Derby picks at the end of the show. I also sat down with former Pirate manager Clint Hurdle in our interview segment. The Pirates host the Cincinnati Reds this weekend, a huge weekend series between the Reds and the Pirates, but first we'll wrap up a series with the St. Louis Cardinals as I welcome in my partners Don Sloan and Rich Donnelly. Don was hoping for a 7-3, 10-game stretch. Not going to happen. And Rich, we were thinking the stopper, if they did get in some trouble, was going to be Paul Skeens. He didn't get the job done. What happened on Thursday?
Well, Bill, the other day, the bathroom in my basement, my sink was stopped up. So I called a plumber to come over. And I says, could you come over? It's stopped up, and I need you to fix it. And he said, I can't. I'm sick. I have another guy to come over. So he sent over a substitute stopper, and he came over and fixed it, and everything was fine. So the Pirates are in a position now where they have to have a substitute stopper just for one day, and that would be for tonight in Mitch Keller, because my leak was in the sink in my basement, and if it would have overflowed, I would have had trouble in my basement. And if the Pirates don't get it fixed real quick, they'll be in the basement for a long time.
All right, well, there you have it. We've stoppers, we've got plumbers. We need to get in touch with a plumber and see if we can get something set up on that. All right, Don, you're always talking woulda, shoulda, coulda, or woulda, coulda, shoulda. However you want to put it, the Pirates, unfortunately, in those type of games, two against the Cardinals, they fell a little bit flat, but it was close.
Well, they would have won Monday night because their closer shoulda got the last two outs of the game, but he couldn't. So the woulda, coulda, shoulda did not work in game one, and actually that game was fantastic. The bullpen game, perfect game through 6 2/3, leading 2-0. I was at the game. The closer, it's the worst I've felt leaving a Pirate game in a long time. Talk about a game you had wrapped up that you lost. 2 nights later, they fell behind. They battled back, which this team does a great job of. Nicky G hits what could be a walk-off 2-run homer, but the left fielder makes a great catch, takes it out of the stands. That ball 1 foot higher. Pirates woulda, coulda, they should have won that one. So just so close there of a couple games. Bill, woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't go the right way.
Absolutely, and one of the things you have to have is pitching. Rich, ironically, the bullpen game, that went pretty well for the pitching until the very end, but the starting pitching fell flat. How do we stay away from hitting the panic button? It's really early.
Yeah, you can't come in the clubhouse and overturn the food table. Don't panic. It just turned, the calendar just turned to May. You got four or five more months of games. Take each game one at a time. Don't overreact to a winning streak. Don't overreact to a losing streak. I really do. I think they're going to be fine.
All right, now following the sweep at the hands of the St. Louis Cardinals, we caught up with Pirates manager Donnie Kelly.
Tough series, tough last game today. It's a tough stretch there, and we got punched. We got to find a way to punch back. Just looked like the fastball wasn't where it typically is with him, command and stuff-wise. And I think that the couple pitches, the one that Walker hit, it looked like a sweeper that didn't break. And just I didn't think he had his best stuff today.
Pirates fans, protect what matters most with Autobus Communications and Security. From homes to businesses, their managed security systems are monitored 24/7 and built with cutting-edge technology, giving you control, confidence, and even instant lockdown when it matters most. Autobus Communications and Security, always connected, always protected. Just Right Home Care. We are hiring. Competitive wages, flexible hours, and paid travel expenses. Join our team of reliable and friendly caregivers by applying in person at 2197 National Road in Wheeling or calling 304-233-1414 to set up an interview. Gold is trading around $5,000 an ounce now, so it's time to sell your gold. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton, West Virginia, has expanded hours, open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Fridays until 4 in the evening. Get top dollar in cash from the team you can trust. It's time now to open the National Gold and Silver Refinery Rich's treasure chest as Rich shares one of his stories from his coaching past. Rich, what do you have for us today?
Well, in the late 80s, we were struggling as a team, just trying to get it together, and we're playing down in Houston. And every time we'd go to a city, especially like a nice city like Houston, Jim would like to play golf in the morning with his coaches. So we went out and we played, and Jim, to be nice, he was terrible. He told me he was two over or something like that, and I said, 2 over? I said, you shot 120. He goes, yeah, but I found 2 golf balls, so I was 2 over. Anyway, we have the game that night, and right after the game, he told our trainer, Kent Biggerstaff, he said, Biggie, when you get back to the hotel, have the bellman send my golf clubs up to my room, to my suite. I want to work on a couple things, putt and whatever. So we go back to the hotel, the Western Galleria, and Jim has a suite on the 23rd floor. And all of a sudden, he was putting a little bit, and all of a sudden he goes, hey, wait a minute. He goes, do you think I could drive a ball out through those sliding glass doors if they were open on the balcony? And I said, well, I don't know, Jim. So anyway, he puts down the ball, he gets his driver out, we pull the drapes back. I stand on the balcony, whack, he smokes one out the window. He goes, how was that one? I go, that's pretty good, right down the fairway. He does it about 20 more times. Then Andy Van Slyke walked in, and he said, Andy, why don't you go down on that field and shag balls for me? So there's a Gold Glove center fielder down there in the middle of his parking lot shagging golf balls. And finally, Jim got his stroke all settled out. He shot an 82 the next day, so it all worked out good.
All right, do you have gold or unwanted jewelry? Now is the time to sell. Maybe that gold glove that Andy Van Slyke has, you can put that up. Due to popular demand, the National Gold and Silver Refinery at the Holiday Inn in Weirton, West Virginia has expanded hours, open Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., and Fridays until 4 p.m., with gold trading around $5,000 an ounce. Now is the time to sell. Looking for compassionate, reliable care for a loved one in the Wheeling area? Just Right Home Care is here to help. Their dedicated team provides personalized in-home support, from daily assistance and companionship to specialized care, so your family member can stay safe and comfortable at home. With a focus on dignity, respect, and peace of mind, Just Right Home Care treats every client like family. Learn more today, because the right care makes all the difference. Call 304-233-1414. Right now, we're going to check in with former Pirates manager Clint Hurdle. I sat down with him to talk some Bucco baseball.
Well, there was no part of me that said, I'm 100% positive we're going to nail this. And my initial comment to the press was, we want to rebond the city of Pittsburgh with its baseball team. And I would go back to a Muhammad Ali quote that says, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. So I was interviewing for 2 different managerial positions at the time, one with the Mets, one with the Pirates. I'd been a Met player. I'd coached and managed in the Met system. I had history there. My wife had family that lived in Long Island. Everybody in my small group, you go to New York, you got to go to New York, you got to go do the Mets, payroll, this. There was something in my heart, not my gut, could have been indigestion. It was in my heart that I needed to go to Pittsburgh because of the task. I wasn't looking for comfort. I was the hitting coach in Texas. They have really good hitters in Texas when I was there. It wasn't that hard of a job. I mean, it was a good, challenging job, but not that hard of a job. I'm not managing anymore. But it was the conviction, the commitment, the fan base. I talked to enough people that I knew closely that lived in the area. There was angst. There was disappointment. Some of them were just frustrated and done with it. I thought, what a great story this could be. Get a group of people with one common goal, turn this thing around. So that was the focus, to try and be a small part of something super significant for so many good people in an area. This is an old traditional baseball town too. There's greatness here. And that was really the whole substance, the roots of it. And then the first 2 years we started off hot. Everybody got sky high, and we ended flat, and the angst got higher and higher. 20 consecutive losing seasons. And then the good started to happen.
Speaking of the good, how did the positivity that you brought to the ballpark every day in speaking with the media and speaking with fans. I remember you were asked once about that positivity, and you said, well, you want to encourage people, and the difference between, being positive or not is basically you pat someone on the back, or you're about 2 feet lower, you can kick them in the tail. And it was something that you brought that it seemed like it was infectious, not only for the team, but the city, especially when things started to go your way.
I think we all can create wakes in our life. And what I mean by a wake is a boat wake. 3 rivers here, right? A lot of boats on the river. That every boat leaves a wake. Do you want to create a negative wake, or you want to create a positive wake? And I knew in my heart that the heavy lifting we had to do, there was no time for negativity. Not from me. There was going to be enough from enough other places that was out of our control. However, inside that clubhouse, in that dugout, we were going to stay focused on meeting the demands of the game, taking care of each other, and building a family, community type atmosphere. We're going to do this. I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know it's going to be extremely worth it for not just this group, but how about the employees? How about the people trying to sell season tickets when I got here in 2011 and 12? And how about the vendors downtown, running shops, running hotels, running restaurants? And through that 3-year stretch, 13 through 15, the North Shore was vibrant.
Oh, it was
a hostile environment for visiting teams to come play.
Well, you lead me to my next question. I may have gone with a different question, but the hostile environment for the teams that came in. Cueto. What was it like? I remember being there in the press box, and I remember walking in the ballpark that day. And everyone had told me, and I knew this anyway, because I'm a baseball guy, and it's just, I love baseball, and if baseball's hot, it's as big as anything. Pittsburgh, everyone said, baseball's the number one sport. Football took over for a while, but if baseball's good, it can be the number one sport. Walking into that ballpark, it was electric that night. You could feel it in the stands around, you sitting amongst the fans and everything. What was it like to be in the dugout for that game? But not only that game, but when the Cueto chant started, he drops the ball, and then the home run from Martin. What was that like in the dugout? Because as exciting as it was in the ballpark, I can't imagine what it was like for you guys. And you're trying to keep your head about you so you can manage.
Well, we talk about creating a wake. It was one of the few days it was hard to get in the ballpark. And I go in at like 11 o'clock. The din, the clamor, the noise, the people were already starting to come across the Clemente Bridge all around the stadium. It's just a different vibe, man. It's real. So once we get in, we got some early work, we're going to do this, but you can hear outside the park louder than ever before. So you feel it, right? And you feel it. And I would always come out to the game a half an hour early. I'd be the only one for about 10 minutes in the dugout. I wanted to smell the grass. I wanted to smell the hot dogs. I wanted to see the guys work on the field. It was my quiet time. Nobody can touch me. Most of for me, what I thought the hard work was done, I get to watch them play now. But to watch the fans starting to come in, and this whole black thing's going on, I got no clue. I'm the old guy that's out of tune. And finally, Kutch comes. I go, what? He goes, oh, AJ and I went online. We told everybody we're black. It's a blackout, Skip. And I'm like, wow, how cool is that? And they just kept coming. They kept coming. And then the game, and that team. I get goosebumps talking about that team just because the way it came together with the addition of players from the winter, AJ, Russell, and then Marlon Byrd, and the resurgence of the kids internally, Walker, Pedro, a lot of good things. The pitching, oh my gosh, you don't win anything if you can't pitch. And the Shark Tank out there. We felt good. We felt like we were going to win. That was a cool thing about that team. Certain time early in the year, 2013, we just felt we were going to win. And when we didn't win, we were going to win tomorrow. The whole script had flipped. So the game's happening. I mean, it's loud, and it's obnoxiously loud. And then the Cueto thing started, and I'm like, I nudged Bannister. I go, hey, check this out, man. I said, they're going to make a difference. They're going to make a difference. He drops the ball, and the place blows up. And you think, okay, that's pretty cool. The next pitch, Russell hits it in the North Shore notch. I got goosebumps. Bannister and I are looking like, you can't make this stuff up. Sport, man can't write or create what sport can make happen.
It's the greatest reality television, greatest reality anything.
And then, the game plays out. Liriano shoves, Grilli finishes it off, Bird hits a home or two. and the whole place. I mean, the generational joy. Because you got grandpas with their sons who got their sons. You got grandmas with their daughters with their daughters. And to this day, I shared this last night at the Duquesne Club. When I first got here, I started talking about Mazeroski's home run. I met 100,000 people that were at that game. Now, people fabricate in Pittsburgh a little bit because Forbes Field held like 38,000.
Yeah.
Well, if you walk around town today and ask how many people were at that Cueto game, there's
everybody.
100,000 people.
At least.
And we had 40,000 jammed in PNC.
There wasn't a spot to fit anybody else.
The park showed off, the fan base showed off, the team showed off. It was fantastic.
The guys that you mentioned adding guys, Bird, AJ, Martin, training camp that year, when they came in, is there a difference, especially with guys like a Martin and an AJ that have been on super successful teams and they bring that, we're going to win. It's not a question. That's not even a thought that we're not going to win. Is that something that is, real and you can almost feel it when those guys show up?
Liriano brought a quiet confidence. He might have been the first one.
Yeah.
He had been in Minnesota. They had won things in Minnesota. AJ had won things in Toronto and in New York. Russell had won. And when they walked in, they just expected to win. And they all even said, I didn't come here to lose. I came here because we're going to win. I've seen enough. We got a young core. We will add to it. But they vocally told their teammates, we didn't come here to mess around. We didn't come here to just get paid.
Yeah.
We came here because we plan on winning together with you guys. They brought an edge, which was significant as well, because we had some players that may have not developed a major league edge to them. What I mean I mean a competitive spirit that we're from Pittsburgh, and we're gonna beat your ass.
Yeah,
that's it. The edge started growing for guys that didn't have one. They got one. For guys that had a little bit of one, they got a bigger one. And guys that had a pretty big one, then they got on boat with Burnett and they got on boat with AJ. And it's almost like they're the kind of guys that if they got invited to a fist fight, they'd have a knife in their back pocket just in case they switch sideways. They're not going to lose.
Yeah, they're going to win.
So they brought that with them, and I give Neil and Dan Fox and Kyle Stark, Frank. We had such a good leadership team there then at that time, all working together. Nobody cared who get the credit. But we were able to go out and handpick men that came in and made a difference and made the people we already had and were growing up better. I'm happy for Donnie. I've known Donnie for a lot of years. As a ball player and then as a coach, we started to get closer with the Pittsburgh ties, Neil Walker families connected. Jokingly, we'd always tell Donnie he's not even the best athlete in his family, his wife is. He's got it in him. He's got the Yinzer DNA. He knows what it's like when this place gets connected, when baseball matters. I've kept my finger on the pulse, but from afar. And I never dug in. Shelton and I had a few conversations over the years, not many conversations with anybody else. Jimmy T and I are best friends. We talk about a lot of things,
he's
not a lot about
Jimmy
baseball.
T's the best.
Not a lot about baseball because who wants to pick scabs? It's been a hard 7 years.
Yeah.
And I know how hard it can be. There seems to be a very strong breath of fresh air. I mean, the pitching is there. Coming in the dugout last year with the Rockies, we touched home plate one time in 3 games. One time, 3 games.
It's rough.
And looking at all the videotape as the bench coach of what we were going to face, and those arms starting, those arms coming out of the bullpen, it was as good as anybody we saw all year. Now on the offensive side, it's been light. It's been light. They've added some bats. Some of the younger guys are getting a little older. Maybe they can mix and match a little bit. There's definitely a reason to believe this team can do something different from since 1920, for the last 5 years. And hopefully they do it because the fan base will drop back. I saw last night was 9,000 people.
Yeah.
That's the Cardinals. Yeah, it was cold. Yeah, it was a little wet.
It's the Cardinals, though.
But it's the Cardinals.
It's the Cardinals.
And I think one of the other things they may appreciate when we would talk about playing NL Central, people ask me who was my least favorite team. I'd say all of them. I don't like any of them. I mean, that was the mindset I had. It was us against the world, and I do think they're kind of revisiting that there. I'm always gonna pull for them because I invested 9 years of my life into this region, ball club, organization, and I still know of so many good people that are invested with that ball club. And the fans, I still know people here. We lived in the best neighborhood we could have lived in. They're still Pittsburgh Pirate fans. They just want more to cheer for. And I hope this is the year that they can give it to them.
In life-changing moments, you need a lawyer who is ready to stand firm. Mike Noguet has over 40 years of courtroom experience securing results in personal injury, medical malpractice, and serious criminal defense cases across West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. That's Weird attorney Mike Noguet Law, where your fight is his fight. All right, so the Pirates take a 5-game losing streak into a 3-game matchup. It's at PNC Park, taking on the first-place Reds, winners of 7 of their last 10. Well, let's take a look at the pitching matchup. And the new stopper for Rich tonight is Mitch Keller. And Keller, 2-1 with a 3.18 earned run average. Brady Singer, 2-1, 4.97. It's a 6:45 start. And gentlemen, what do we think of this matchup?
Well, like Rich said earlier, we need Mitch Keller to be the stopper, and hopefully he can do that tonight against a red-hot Reds team.
Rhett Lauder against Carmen Majinski. That's Saturday night. Majinski 1-2, 4.13 earned run average. That's an afternoon start, 4:05. And then it's Chase Burns for the Reds, 3-1, taking on Braxton Ashcraft as he comes in with a 1-2 record and 3.71 earned run average. We talked to Donnie Kelly about this matchup.
Yeah, feel real good about it. And I think that's the thing when you go through these stretches is maintaining that confidence in the starting pitching, confidence in each other. We got a lot of leaders in that room that have been through the grind and have full faith in them and in all the guys, and somebody stepping up, whether that's through the rotation, defensively, big at-bats. And it's we got to try to stay within ourselves, like we were just talking about. If you start trying to do too much, you get outside of yourself. And I think that for the starters to continue to do what they've been doing all season, they've been so strong for us and such a strong foundation.
And De La Cruz is having another sensational season. And Sal Stewart is off to a great start as well, almost 20 home runs combined there. So they've got some bats that are working, gentlemen.
And you see Eugenio Suarez, he is on the 10-day DL right now. He's injured. He started off hot, number of home runs, but he's out. Brian Hayes, you don't see there, the former Pirate. He's hitting just 130 with 1 home run. He has really struggled. But the Reds, they've won 11 out of 15 games, and they're red hot, one of the hottest teams in baseball. Rich?
Yeah, Pirates, we have to circle the wagons. This is a time when you're going to find out what kind of guys you have on your team. It's easy when you're winning, everybody's telling you how good you are. But when you run into a little bad streak, now we'll see what type of guys we have. We talked about earlier, well, this is a different team. Well, we're going to find out in the next week whether this is a different team or not. I think they're going to respond very well. And in the clubhouse, you have to get rid of any negativity. If you have a ping pong table in there or a rumble house or whatever the heck that thing is in there, keep doing it. Keep doing it, and then when you go on the field, then you play. Don't panic and don't change anything.
A guy the Pirates don't want to get hot is Matt McLain. He's only hitting .211, 2 homers and 9 RBIs for the Reds. But he's a guy, if he gets hot, McLain and Spencer Steer, Bill, can really make things happen for that Reds offense.
The Reds have been on a roll lately. Now we talk 3 up, 3 down. Who's hot, who's not? And we begin with Don. Don, who do you have for us?
How about the Baltimore Orioles? 2 grand slams in one game. Rushman and Jackson both with grand slams and a 10-3 win over the Astros.
Rich?
Yeah, I like to give credit to the catchers in the big leagues for on this automatic ball strike thing. They've been right 60% of the time. They have a better view of the pitch actually than the pitcher or the hitter. And they've been, like I say, 60%. Every pitcher thinks every pitch is a strike. A catcher doesn't.
All right, and the Phillies, how about this? On Thursday, 2 walk-off home runs in a split doubleheader, and they win it over the San Francisco Giants. Last time that has happened, when a team has come from behind in the 9th inning or later in a doubleheader to win it like that, Pirates back in 2004. All right, now who's down? Don?
Well, Jim Palmer, 80-year-old Jim Palmer, downed a chicken wing for the first time in his life.
What?
I love chicken wings. How can you be 80 years old and never eat a chicken wing? The reason is he said he would finally eat a chicken wing if he was calling a game and the Orioles hit a grand slam. Well, the O's had too, so Palmer had to eat the chicken wing. It's not whether or not you eat chicken wings, it's what flavor to pick from.
Yeah.
And do you eat a dozen?
How do you
or
go
eat
80
3
years
dozen?
and not have a chicken wing?
I'm very offended. I'm 80 years old. I've never had a chicken wing in my life.
Well, we're gonna have to go take care of that.
My down, of course, is the Mets, 10-21. My old team, I feel kind of bad for them, but they've spent over $300 million for 10 wins in April. They got to get it going. Right now, they're right on that corner of getting rid of everybody. They're going to blame the manager, the coaches, whatever. So as of today, they hope, flipping this calendar over to May, that they have a lot better May than they had in April.
Well, I'll tell you what, my down is Major League Baseball and all of the streaming services. You pay for one service, you're trying to get the game, and then all of a sudden the game's not there because it's on another streaming service, which is exclusive, so you have to pay for that and this and that and the other thing, and I'm just tired of it.
Okay.
Tired of it.
I can't believe that you really never ate a chicken wing.
I've never had a chicken wing in my life, and I'm 80.
Have you ever had chicken?
I eat chicken all the time.
All right, you probably had a wing, you just didn't know it.
There you
I
go.
do
You
the
and Jim
Wade
Palmer.
Boggs thing. I got a couple hits, and I eat chicken all day.
Well, let's take this look at the
Let's
standings.
take a look at the National
Don't
League
look in the
Central
basement.
standings. Yeah, don't look in the basement right now. It's not a good place to look. Here we go. Reds on top, Pirates in the bottom. But I'll tell you what, Pirates get hot this weekend. That could all flip around, and the Pirates can be right back up near the top of the standings. Major League around the Central, Don.
Well, the Cubs, they've won 7 out of 10. They're hot, but the Reds have been hotter. The Brewers, how about this? A plus 38 run differential. And then the Cardinals, they host the Dodgers this weekend. So we'll just find out how real the Cardinals are. And you can see that game here, Bill.
You can. This weekend, Major League Baseball on Fox this weekend, you have a matchup with the Dodgers and the Cardinals at 7:15 in the evening. Now, it's Kentucky Derby weekend, and we talked with Major League Baseball Network's Dan Plesac about his thoughts for his Derby pick.
I'm going to ask you a question. Who you like it for the Derby, first Saturday in May?
Oh Lord, I gotta watch. I think there's a couple more races right before.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. Derby's tough, Sack, because there's 20 horses in there, and there's a lot of traffic. So probably a long shot.
Yeah, I saw the horse that won the Arkansas Derby, Renegade. Todd Pletcher trains that horse.
I like that horse.
He was so visually impressive in the Arkansas Derby. He was last going in a smaller field, 7-horse field. But, man, I think there's going to – unless he runs into – now, the problem with him is he doesn't have a lot of speed early. So the key to the Derby is you've got to get away from the gate. You got to get away from all the stragglers that are like long shots. So you can't get away like 15th or 16th because you got to weave and dodge and weave and get your way out of there. But I think if Renegade is somewhere near close to the front part of the pace, I just think they're going to have a hard time with him not running them all down. That's just my opinion. But the thing that probably is nuts on my part, Derby favorites rarely win, and he's probably going to be the Derby favorite.
Right. Zach, like our old buddy Don Zimmer used to say, best thing in the world is betting and winning, and the second best thing is betting and losing.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, but I'm in some way or shape or form. I've kind of conceded that Renegade's he's going to be my horse for the Derby.
All right.
Well, take that's a popular song in Pittsburgh. So
Renegade,
we'll go Renegade.
That's right. David Bednar now uses that when he comes into the Yankees.
Right, I didn't know that.
And the Steelers. That's the big thing. They play for the Steelers.
Hey, Zach, thanks a lot, man. We appreciate it. And good luck to you. We'll be watching you, and I'll check out Renegade first week of May.
You got it. Sounds good. Thanks, fellas. Arr, mateys, go Buccos.
All right. Well, he made his pick, Renegade. Gentlemen, who do you have in the big race?
Well, my son wanted me to go for Wonder Dean, who won the $1 million Dubai World Classic. I'm going to go with another 30-1 Golden Tempo because I like the jockey Jose Ortiz, and a lot of times the jockey might make the difference
Absolutely. My first pick was number 6, Commandment. Still like him, but I'm a jockey guy too. And number 15, Emerging Market, ridden by the great Flavion Pratt. So I'm going to go with Flavion. He's always in the money. I think he'll be there on Saturday.
All right, well, my pick was made for me. I was ready to do some research, pick the horses, and then all of a sudden I was told that I'm in a pool for the Kentucky Derby, and my horse is So Happy. It's a 6-to-1 odds for that horse, so that's who I'm rooting for. I might have $5 on that horse in this pool that I just found out about, so that's who we're going with. All right, everybody, we're just about out of time on this edition of Bucco Triple Play. Make sure you scan this QR code on your screen for the latest episode of the Bucco Triple Play podcast. And check out Bucco Triple Play Facebook page to see segments from our shows. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Until next time, I'm Bill Phillips for Rich and Don. We'll see you.